everybody. Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
I'm Jim Love. I'm a keynote and motivational speaker.
And this is the Hustling Sideways podcast. And on the weeks that we don't have guests here in my house,
your humble abode. Yes.
We literally just talked off mic about the number of people that have been in our house, in my house, that I don't remember.
Alan's like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Like,
yeah.
Really, yeah, they've been in your home and they know your address. And I sent them even more information than that. So check your bank account and see what's going on.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, when we don't have guests, we talk about the things that we go through
right.
with our side hustles, our passion projects, all of those sorts of things. Today, conveniently, we're scrambling a little bit because we had a guest that just timing error, things didn't work out.
And so we said, why don't we record some more of these? And we said, well, why don't we say about how to be flexible, how to change course, and that's exactly what we're doing. So I love this topic, and actually, I'm going to start if you don't mind, because this is something I love doing. I love in my world when something goes awry, I just go with what I'm feeling, even if I plan something. I'm flexible and I totally change the course. The one time I remember specifically, I was at a conference probably 5 years ago. Okay. And there was a gentleman speaking before me. It was like a series of speakers. And I had this like specific message plan. And this guy totally, without knowing, did my message.
Oh no, it's like a comedian stealing your joke.
Totally stole. And he, it's not like we met. He was a random guy. And so I'm like listening to this. I'm like, oh no. Oh no!
This is your whole thing.
So I just go in the back, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna do this, and within because this was towards the end of his talk. Okay, so it's not like I had that much time. I was up after him. So within 10 minutes, I had scrapped what I had wanted to do. Went in, thought of something else. Kind of was like, all right, here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do here, and went out and did fine. But like,
sure,
before I had done this job, if you will, it would have been panic mode of like, oh my god, like he stole something that I keep saying the word stole. He didn't know that he
had the same material.
He had the same material, and we had met each other, but like something that was going to be very specific to that day for me. So it's like, oh crap, yeah. So I went and did it, but I love that challenge. I love being like, someone just did it. What do I need to do? And another example. So one time I was, this is 3 years ago, I was giving a keynote and was like in the zone going for it. And I use note cards. That's one of the things I do to keep myself on track. Yeah. And I had accidentally went forward, so I have it in back and front, and I skipped, like I took the front of the card and then put it in the back. Yeah. And I went in the next section. In about 2 minutes in the next section, I was like, I totally just skipped, and I was
something
like,
important,
like really critical to what I was about to say, and I was like, why are the dots not connecting? And then I go, all right, guys, be honest with y'all, like I just skipped a really big part. So then I did the cha-cha slide, and I was like, reverse, reverse, okay. And they all got up and did it with me, and then I went and then did it, and it worked out well. But
that's amazing that you were able to like improv though too, and be like, we're doing the cha-cha slide.
And I because I thought of the word reverse, and then I just went right to it. So you just have to own it and roll with it, and that actually made it funnier. Like these students got up and danced with me. And
that probably somebody that wasn't paying attention probably immediately was, because then they were like lost.
We're getting up and doing it. And like they realized, I was like, hey, I made a mistake. I'm going to go back. So I was just like, you just got to work with it in the moment. And I think a big part about being flexible and rolling with it is not being afraid to do that. Like not being afraid to make mistakes, to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself seriously, because we're all human. Like humans make mistakes, and that's okay. But those two stick out. I mean, like that was the panic that hit me at first of like, oh my gosh, that guy just said what I wanted to say. And then it's like, you got to figure it out. That like
cold sweat that sets in.
And then like being hard to do this and skipping a totally like full section of what I needed to do. Yeah. Get up, we'll dance, sit back down. I did it. And then we were fine. And it worked out well. So I stand by, like it takes practice. It's terrifying, but it's fun. It's fun to be flexible. It's fun to like maneuver around what you got to do. Yep. If you have confidence in yourself, it's 1,000 times more fun. If you're like, I'm going to figure this out. And for me, working with a bunch of 16-year-olds, like they're going to call your shit out, if you do it. And I'm like, here's me, guys. This is what I do. And then it actually reverts itself back to my talk. Yeah. Like it's me being authentic. That's what I'm doing.
You found a way to work it all in.
And so that's why my message kind of works with it. But I get like pride out of taking something, having to maneuver it in the moment and then going, because it's like a challenge, but I know I'm good at it. That's why you're like, okay.
When it goes right, it's like feeling like you pulled off a trick.
It's the best.
You know what I mean? It's like you pulled off a magic trick, and you're like, look, I made this.
I did it. I got the bunny out of the hat, and here we go. Yeah. What's your approach on that?
Well, okay, Jim. Look,
whenever you say my name, I know it's gonna get serious.
There is honestly, I think, no show that I've done. I take that back. It's very rare that there's a show that goes perfectly. There's usually something that goes wrong.
This show goes perfectly all the time. What are you talking about?
This show goes
This is
perfectly.
offensive.
Every
Yeah,
concert
okay.
that I
Fair
throw.
enough. Oh, concerts. Okay.
Generally something goes wrong or at
Yeah.
some point. Like
Yeah.
there is some part of the night that just doesn't go according to plan.
Is it a behind the scenes thing, or would an audience know that something was going
Most of the
awry?
time the audience doesn't
That's
know.
what I thought. Okay.
That's if you're good at it.
If you're good at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I could tell you in particular, like literally there was one where we're performing, the guy's on stage and I'm running sound, and my buddy Jeremy is like pointing out to me, he's like, dude, look at that. And he's pointing at the soundboard. I'm like, what? Everything's fine. And then I see that there's like smoke coming out of the back of the soundboard.
Yeah.
And what had happened was they had rewired something and something got too close, and it was literally like there was
Like
something
an
was
active
smoking.
fire.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we like ran up there and like literally put out a fire that was on.
Like people say that metaphorically, but you quite literally.
I actually quite literally.
First you roasted a
like,
marshmallow, and then you.
we made it work. So I will give you the two most recent ones that I can think of it, just in general, of things that like when it went wrong and you had to really pivot on it.
Yeah.
The first one is our beat battle. And we promise all the sponsors that your logo is going to be shown on the screen, and generally is a big projection screen over the stage. And there's also a TV in that room. So first night of the battle, first night, everything's set to go. I've used this projection screen tons of times. It's never been a problem. I go to plug it in. Nothing comes on.
Oh, jeez.
And then I start asking around, like some of the staff, like, hey, did you guys switch anything? Do you guys know like how to get the laptop to project up to the screen? Nobody knows.
Oh,
so then I'm like, oh my God, everything that people have paid for, they're not going to get. But then I realized that's when there's the TV that is in there, and the TV has a little Roku player.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I figured out on the fly how to cast my laptop to the Roku so that I could play on the TV screen at least, so that the sponsors get something. So that was like, and this was like a half an hour of us messing around with this, and we have a limited window before like show's got to start. Like, because eventually people are walking in, like there's a crowd full of people watching me panic. That one people did see because there's in front of people.
You could tell. Yeah.
The other one that most recently happened was I was actually DJing a wedding for my sister's friend, and they were getting ready to do a speech, but I didn't realize. So I did the sound for the ceremony. It was outdoors, and they had everything set for plugs to plug me in outdoors, and then I had to go take all my stuff indoors. I didn't know that they had like an appetizer section where people would eat in between, because it was like during the afternoon.
Sure.
So they weren't doing like a full dinner.
Yeah.
But they were just doing like a cocktail hour and food. And I was like, well, I don't have any music prepared for this. I have music prepared for like dancing and
but
like
not for like relaxed cocktail.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like on the fly, I called up. I had like a little Bluetooth thing for my phone, and plugged that into my soundboard and started running that off of there and playing like a jazz playlist and something chill.
It'll work.
Because I was like, okay, well, you still need to like have some atmosphere, have some music playing. But in that moment, like totally had to just dial up plan B and be like, okay, like we don't have this.
Make it work.
We got to make it work. And it is, it is actually super like helpful when it comes to my day-to-day job too, because like events are part of what we do on Milwaukee too, and sometimes you're just going by whatever you got and whatever the situation is.
The phrase is to make it work. It's like okay, that went awry, but like, what are you going to do in the moment? I'm with you. And this makes me think of a different story, not related to my job or my side hustle, but when I worked with the Young Alumni Association for a couple years out of college, we had an event on like homecoming, on National Marquette Day every year. And one time we rented out a bar downtown. We got there. We had done this for months, preparing with them what we needed. We're gonna have sponsors, all this kind of stuff. We get there and they like weren't ready. It's like whatever information didn't get up there. They had no microphone, no music. So I was in charge of the announcements. There's 400 people there. Yeah. So I get up and I was like, here we go. And I'm like, everybody, can you? And I'm shouting. And I'm like, that's why we did the announcements.
I feel like a lot of times when you have to improvise, it involves you shouting.
It mostly does. Yes, that's what it is. But it was like so. And then like I went, and the woman who was a liaison at that time, she's like, I think our like volunteers would have panicked. And I'm like, you just make it work. Like,
you just have to do it.
It's got to get done. So just do it the way that's how
and you got to be decisive about it and just do something.
So I was like, I'm shouting. That's it. Like, what are you gonna do? So I think for all of us, at some point, we're going to have to improvise. We're going to have to make it work, be flexible, and move on. So what have you done to make that happen? That's my question. And I want you to answer it right now. We'll wait.
No, we won't. We are the Hustling Sideways podcast. You can tell us in the comments. That's fine. We are the Hustling Sideways podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. We are also all over the social media. Just Google us and we show up. That was a phrase that Jim used and I like it. So we're going to do it. Just Google us. Just Google Hustling Sideways. We're on your favorite social media. You can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to be a guest, you can send us an email at hustlingsideways@gmail.com. And Jim,
keep on hustling.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.